I was known as a good man. On the outside, I was a pillar of the community. On the inside, I felt like a ghost. I thought giving everything I had was the path to purpose, but the more I gave, the more I disappeared. I was a man who gave everything and felt nothing, until an old monk told me 7 simple words that saved my life. My life was divided into 2 acts. In the first, I was Leo, a mid-level manager in a world of spreadsheets and fluorescent lights, a world that quietly chipped away at my soul. But after 5 o'clock, I put on a different costume. I became Leo the helper, Leo the selfless giver. I would rush from my office to a downtown shelter to serve hot meals. I would see the tired, grateful faces, say all the right words, and offer a practiced, warm smile. But inside, I felt nothing. It was as if I were watching a film of my own life, a well-acted part. But the actor himself was hollow. There was nobody home. Over time, that emptiness began to spoil into resentment. I'd see people simply enjoying a quiet evening at home, and a bitter thought would surface. I'm out here saving the world, and they're just living. The very people I aimed to help began to feel like a weight. Their endless need became a mirror to my own bottomless deficit. The more I poured out, the more I felt a gnawing spiritual poverty. I didn't know it then, but this is the profound strain of feeling for others until you can no longer feel anything at all. My good deeds had become a kind of trade. I was giving my time and energy with the desperate hope of receiving a sense of purpose in return. But it was a bargain I was always losing. My account was permanently overdrawn. The breaking point arrived on a rainy Tuesday, the kind of cold, relentless downpour that mirrored the storm inside me. I had just spent 3 hours sorting donations, my hands raw, my spirit frayed. Each box I emptied seemed to empty a piece of me too. I left the shelter and just started walking, with no destination. The city lights became a blur. I was adrift, lost in a city of millions, but more than anywhere, I was lost inside myself. My aimless wandering led me to a quiet side street, an old lane tucked away from the city's roaring pulse. There, squeezed between 2 modern skyscrapers, was a small temple. Its old wooden doors were slightly ajar, a warm, soft light spilling into the night. I am not a religious man, but I was so cold and so tired, that temple looked like the only port in a storm. I slipped inside. The air was still and thick with the scent of sandalwood. The only sound was the gentle rhythm of rain on the roof tiles. In the center of the room, an old monk sat on a simple cushion. He wasn't chanting or praying. He was just sitting, his eyes closed, in a stillness so deep it seemed to hold the whole room in place. He radiated a peace that wasn't earned or performed, but simply was. I found a corner and sat on the cold floor, trying not to disturb the silence. For what felt like an hour, I just watched him, a single point of calm in the center of my inner chaos. My desperation, my resentment, my deep, bone-wearying exhaustion. It all felt so loud and shameful next to his quiet presence. Finally, his eyes opened. They were not piercing or wise, just calm, like the surface of a deep, still lake. He looked at me, and I felt as though he could see every crack in the facade I had built so carefully. When I finally spoke, my voice was a hoarse whisper. The words tumbled out. "I don't understand," I began. "I give everything I have, my time, my money, my energy. I try so hard to be a good person, but I feel nothing. Just this emptiness. It's eating me alive. Why?" The monk simply listened, his gaze unwavering. When I finished, the silence returned, holding my confession gently. He didn't offer a comforting platitude. "Your problem," he said, his voice soft but clear, "is that you try to pour water from a cup that is already empty." The words hung in the air. He continued, "You believe giving is an act of depletion. You serve, and you become tired. You help, and you become less. You see compassion as a transaction, where you offer your energy, hoping for a feeling of worth in return." He paused. "That is not true generosity. That is a form of spiritual commerce, and you, my friend, have gone bankrupt." He explained that in his tradition, true generosity, Dana, isn't about emptying yourself for others. It is the natural result of cultivating so much inner wholeness that your kindness simply overflows. True giving isn't an act, it's an abundance. It doesn't drain you. It is a sign that you are already full. He leaned forward just slightly. "You are searching for a peace from the outside world, from the gratitude of others, from the label of a good man. But peace is not something you get. It is something you must have. Your giving is a hungry ghost. It comes from a place of lack, so it is never satisfied." Then he spoke the 7 words that changed everything. "First," he said softly, "you must fill your own bowl." The simplicity of it shattered me. All my years of desperate striving, of performative charity, it was all built on a fundamental misunderstanding. I was trying to draw water for a thirsty village from a well I had allowed to run dry long ago. My good deeds were not born from love. They were born from need, my own. "How?" I asked, my voice barely audible. "How do I fill my bowl?" "For 1 month," he instructed, "you will stop trying to save the world. No volunteering, no donations. Your only duty is to fill your own bowl. Each day, find one small, simple thing that asks nothing of you and give it your full attention. Watch a sunrise without thinking about the day ahead. Drink a cup of tea without a screen in your face. Walk in the park and listen only to the bird song. Do not search for meaning. The meaning is the act of being present. Be kind to yourself first, so that you have something real to offer." That first week was torture. I was consumed by guilt. The compulsion to do something, to be useful, was a constant scream in my mind. I felt selfish and lazy, but I held on to the monk's words like a lifeline. On the 3rd day, I sat by my window to watch the rain, just as it had fallen the night I found the temple. But this time, instead of feeling the storm inside me, I just watched the drops as they traced their paths down the glass. And for a fleeting moment, my mind became quiet. Slowly, almost painfully, things began to shift. The daily practice of stillness, of simply being, started to work. These small acts of self-compassion were like tiny drops of water, slowly and steadily filling my bowl. I began to notice the taste of my food again, the warmth of sunlight on my skin, the simple feeling of my own breath moving in and out. At the end of the month, I was walking home and saw a man sitting on the sidewalk, his back against a cold brick wall. In my old life, my mind would have started racing with calculations. I'd have felt a spike of guilt, run a quick audit of the right way to help, and then performed an act of charity that was more about me than him. This time, something different happened. There was no frantic calculation, no guilt, just a quiet, calm recognition of another human being. My bowl wasn't empty anymore. It wasn't overflowing, perhaps, but it was full enough. I went into a small cafe, bought 2 hot sandwiches and 2 coffees, and sat on the pavement next to him. "It's a cold day," I said, handing him one of each. We sat there in silence for a few minutes, eating together. It wasn't a transaction. I was not a savior, and he was not a project. We were just two people, sharing a small moment of warmth on a cold day. When I got up to leave, I didn't feel lighter or heavier. I just felt human, connected. I learned that peace isn't something you find by giving everything away. It is the one thing you must find before you have anything worth giving. True compassion is not a desperate act of self-sacrifice. It is the quiet, effortless overflow of a heart that has finally learned how to be kind to itself. If this story resonated with you, share one small way you're going to fill your own bowl this week in the comments. Let's remind each other that real kindness always starts from within.